So why did you hire Dave Canales? And I think one is like CK started out right off the rip is that Baker Mayfield had his best season, right? Is you made you took lemons and made lemonade, right? To a certain degree. Or at least there was an uncertainty of Baker Mayfield's ability. No one in this room was sitting here pounding the drum saying that he was going to go throw 4,000 yards or this and that. You thought he might be getting damn bench for Kyle Trask at some point in the season. First time play caller was able to do that. We've then next talked about his success when it came to, or his, he's been involved with some good programs. Man, he's been in the damn playoffs forever. It feels like he's been involved with Russell Wilson, Geno Smith's ascendancy in return. Now Baker Mayfield made it. The third reason, and maybe this is part of like what we've been looking for and what we have been hoping for in Frank Wright, was marrying an offensive coach with a quarterback friendly coach to Bryce Young, right? But here is you were talking about the need to build a culture, Anthony, and how Vrabel would do that through sheer strength, right? Like it's just brute force of building a culture in a way. In some way, we've heard some stories coming out that it's not always the most well received by some of these NFL players. I've been reading this book, the sample I could get online from Google Books for free.
Yeah, I can show the picture of it too.
Listen to this though, and I think this is why we might actually have a culture builder. Right? He says this is chapter 5, and he wrote this book with his wife, right? Like in the preface, they say this is they did not look at each other's manuscript at all before they combined them. So it's kind of like her point, his point, her point, his point, like her perspective, his perspective. This is the beginning of chapter 5. I cheated on Lizzie for the first time at my bachelor party one month before we got married. From the start of our relationship, I was binge drinking and going out with my friends without Lizzie. Before I was ever unfaithful to her, I was already there in my mind. Bad habits combined with addiction made it hard for me to resist temptation. It was a pattern I knew well before we started dating. He then goes on to say, basically, when he went to Seattle, that this just got even more prevalent in his life because of traveling around. I mean, look, he's a good looking dude traveling around. He says, now I was traveling around the country to play different NFL teams, which gave me an opportunity to go out and explore the nightlife. Even as I write this, I'm on a plane heading to Cleveland, Ohio to play the Browns. He said this, and what he ultimately, I think this, the sheer honesty of this perspective.
Yeah.
Right.
The
sheer honesty and brute honesty of that. What that is I don't think you're going to get a guy who is just telling you things to tell you things. I don't think you're going to get a guy that is going to be trying to make power politics like Matt Rule was doing. I think what you might get is a culture of truth, a culture where players can trust you, a culture where players believe your perspective, believe you're authentic. And we saw this look, the reaction. Rachaad White is truly, he said, no, he's upset. He's sick that Dave Canales is leaving. You saw Baker. I think these guys, whether or not, look, the hard thing is for a young, unexperienced coach to go in there and to earn the respect of young men, of men who are paid more than they
young
are.
And old. Yeah.
And I think what is the one trait, or one of the few traits that every age group and every person respects? It's honesty and authenticity, where you just know where I stand. And once you know where I stand, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I'm not complimenting you to compliment you. I'm not criticizing you to make myself feel better. What I am saying is truthful. And the fact you start a chapter out, he's writing this damn book with his wife.
Yeah. And they don't know what the other one is writing. Like, hey, that's brave, man. Like
the only person he lies to is his wife, basically.
No, this by the way, this book, well, I mean, it's a restoration of their marriage. Tony Dungy wrote the forward for it.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, if Tony Dungy is writing you forward, people must think very highly of you, man. Bro, people are gonna hate me from saying this, but God, a guy like that would have been perfect for Matt Corral because he's been into drugs and shit before. But whatever, man. Look, dude, I think that this guy is somebody that has. Look, I like someone that's been through adversity. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you're someone that's been spoon fed your entire life to have been given things and have just had every opportunity, and you've never known what it's like to actually turn around from legit hardship, then again, even though it's just football, it lets me know that inevitably when your team goes to those down moments, that hopefully you're going to be able to have the type of mindset and mentality to see them through the storm out to the other side, man. And again, I know personal, issues in your marriage is not the same thing as football, but the fact that, you've had to go through something, you've had to go through real trying times in your life. It boils down to that how do you get other men to believe in you? That, even though everyone has a personal life and things can get bad, and, you have a wife who's mad at you, or sick kids, or parents that are in the hospital, that you all have to come together for one collective goal and one collective vision, and getting everyone to buy into that. It sounds like he's somebody that would be good for building that kind of culture. And we've spoken about that for so long. Who is going to be the culture builder? Who is going to resurrect that culture in Carolina? And a lot of people felt like, well, it needed to be an established head coach like a Mike Vrabel, like a Bill Belichick, or a Pete Carroll, or a Jim Harbaugh to be able to do that for us. But I believe that first and foremost, it's a good man that's able to build a good culture for a football team. So if he checks all those boxes, then I'm hopeful that he is the guy that's going to be able to establish a culture of winning and perseverance here in Carolina.